always to stand in these spaces for justice, for what's right. It's almost impossible to do it with the backdrop that is America today, and how much it resembles all of the gains that we thought we've made as a people, the disappointment that we seem to be retreating back, fear. And it's also not lost on me that it happens through what is recognized as Black History Month, and the unfortunate passing of the great civil rights leader. Nympha, I was thinking on my way down here what to pray, and I had a reflection on one of my memories with Reverend Jackson with my daughters in the car. I was so overwhelmed to be in his presence, I thought I was going to really overwhelm him with knowing how well a job I had done teaching my children Black history. And I asked my oldest daughter, "Do you know who this is?" She thought about it, she giggled, and said, "He's a lawyer." My youngest daughter burst out in laughter. She said, "No, he's not." I said, "Thank God, she's going to save me this embarrassment." I asked her, "So who is he?" She says, "I don't know, but I know he's not a lawyer." And in that moment, I felt the greatest embarrassment and shame as a parent, because I had not prepared my children to at least know who the persons were that paved the way for us. But he eased their tension and mine as well by sharing the message that I think should resonate for our gathering here today. He said he wanted to be a lawyer, but he accepted a call to preach, and that a preacher was no different than a lawyer. And I believe when it comes to justice, the memory of Reverend Jackson is really rooted and embedded in the phrase that he often used. That whether you're a lawyer, preacher, sanitation worker, a clerk, an elected official, whoever you were, wherever you were from, you were somebody. And he put it in just a little simple phrase. Everywhere he went, he says, "I am somebody." I know they said you can't shout in here, but if we were in my church, I'd say, look at the person next to you and say, "I am somebody." Look at the other person and tell them, "You are somebody." So my prayer is a simple one today, and to the legislature. We always be reminded that we are somebody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend, for that very simple but most meaningful prayer. Remembering, knowing that we are somebody. I am somebody. We all are somebody. Now, slight modification. I was told that we can be a little louder than I had originally thought. We can clap, is what I've been told. It sounds like we can do a little bit of woo, a little bit of that, right? Please, let's do that, because I need to feed off of your energy. We need to feed All right. Well, good morning again, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Maryland.
Good morning.
Good morning, Casa. We are Casa. Good morning. Welcome. And thank you for being here today, even through the rain. You see, we know the rain could never stop us from fighting for justice.
That's right. Never.
Nothing could ever stop us from fighting for justice, y'all. And let me tell you something. To anybody who thinks that a little rain or anything else would keep us home today, they don't know our movement. They don't know us. So thank you again for being here today. And let me start with this. Most basic principle. Everyone is deserving of dignity and respect. Everyone. Abrego Garcia. We are here today for Rabiatu Kuyate. We are here for Tiago Sousa Martin. We are here today for Elias. We are here today for every Marylander who has been abused by ICE. That is who we are here today for. My name is Ama Frimpong. I am the legal director at We Are Casa, and I am a proud immigrant. Woo. Let me hear you. I was born and raised in Ghana, and today I am also a proud Marylander. Let me tell you why I'm so proud today to be a Marylander. Because just this week in Maryland, we finally banned 287G agreements. After more than 10 years of organizing and marching and rallying and testifying, sacrifices, long nights and weekends, we banned 287G. Law enforcement can no longer act as ICE agents in our beautiful state of Maryland. Congratulations to everyone. See, for over 10 years, they told us that it could not be done. For years, they told us to wait. No, wait. For years, they told us to be quiet. But we refused to be quiet. We persisted. We continue to mobilize. We continue to trust in ourselves and build our power. We refused to back down. And we won.
That's right.
We did that. We won. This victory belongs to every mother and father and child. Liliana, who came to testify. This victory belongs to every young person who marched with us, every teacher and nurse and union member and faith leader and individual who decided that we would not be quiet and we would fight back instead.
Right.
And this victory belongs to everyone here today in this movement who braved the rain, who no matter the weather, rain or sunshine or sleet or snow, hot or cold, we show up. And we are here today and always. This is for all of us. And I want to be clear, this is not the only victory that our community has had. We have also been suing the federal administration and winning. We preserved birthright citizenship for our babies born here in the U.S.
Yes.
We did that. And we secured a court order stopping ICE from illegally arresting people.
That's
We
right.
did that.
That's right.
In just the past couple of months, we have passed immigration reforms. I need some comms help here. We have passed immigration reforms in Montgomery County, Baltimore County, Prince George's County, Howard, the list goes on, and the work still continues. But I want y'all to listen to me very closely, friends. We are far from finished. The work is far from done. We are not done. In fact, ending 287G was only the beginning. I'm going to say it again. Ending 287G was only the beginning. Okay? Let me tell you why. 287G stops police from acting as ICE agents, but it doesn't stop them from helping ICE informally every single day. It does not stop law enforcement from notifying ICE about our community members. It does not stop law enforcement from transferring our people to ICE. But I'm going to tell you something else. We are not going to stop until we cut all ties with ICE in the state of Maryland. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we will do, right? We will pass the Community Trust Act and stop all law enforcement collaboration with ICE. We will pass the Data Privacy Act and stop ICE from abusing the personal and private information of our community. We will demand that Maryland stops our role in ICE devastating our communities. We will demand that Maryland plays no role in tearing apart families, kidnapping our hardworking parents, shattering the dreams of our innocent children, causing fear and terror in our communities. Not here, not in the state of Maryland. Hell no. We will continue serving our community every day. We will continue to sue this administration when they break the law. We will continue to organize. We will continue to pass every policy we can to protect our people, and we will win. We will win justice for our immigrant community. So let me hear you now. I know we're not supposed to chant, so let's do it just a little bit more quiet. I want to hear you say we want immigrant justice now. What do we want? Immigrant justice. What do we want?
Immigrant justice now.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
When?
Now.
Now, before I step away, I want to make sure everything I said was clear. We shut down 287G, but are we done?
No.
That's right. Are we going to pass the Community Trust Act?
Yes.
Are we going to get ICE the hell out of Maryland?
Yes.
There we go. Thank you all. Whisper. Si se puede, si se puede, si se puede, si se puede, si se puede. Thank you, Marie. Listen, y'all didn't come here to hear me talk. I want us to make sure we hear from I think we are going to get started with an individual who has fought with us to protect the data of our community for years. The lead sponsor of our bill, Madam Vice Chair Lorig Charcutia.
Good morning, buenos dias. It's an honor to be with you. It's always an honor to stand with you. I feel so grateful to represent so many of you. CASA, immigrants, strong in my community that I represent. It's an honor and a pleasure to represent you, to work side by side with you for justice and inclusion in our communities across the state of Maryland and ultimately across this country. We are great as a state of Maryland because of immigrants. Our communities are strong, vibrant, loving places because of immigrants. And Maryland has always been proud and has always committed to a community that includes everyone. And so you see some of the history of our policies, including the history of our data privacy policies. The history of our data privacy policies show that it is our intention to protect the data of everyone in our community. It is our intention in this state to make sure that every member of our community can get a driver's license, every member of our community can get an ID, every member of our community can reach out to the police when they feel unsafe, every member of our community can engage with government agencies to the extent that they need to support themselves and their families. And that is the history of what we have been committed to in the state of Maryland, and we remain committed to that. But what we have seen from the federal government as fascists have taken over, what we have seen from the federal government as authoritarianism takes over, is that this federal government will stop at nothing. And so we need to stop at nothing to protect our communities. This federal government is willing to violate every constitutional protection that we once believed was there, and so we need to stand up for every constitutional protection and every single human being in our community in response to that fascism. This federal government is also working with corporations that are willing to sell out. The corporations that are willing to sell out to fascism and authoritarianism, that are willing to use the data that they access from people who are trying to use their tools, those corporations are willing to sell us all out and sell your data and my data to this federal government. And we are gonna say this session, no, you will not. And we need to be clear. We need to stand up for immigrants in our community because our community is strong and beautiful because of immigrants. But also, immigration is just the first step of how authoritarianism is taking over, violating constitutional rights, violating privacy. And we know that once they get access to our data for immigration enforcement, they'll get access to it to violate our rights as it relates to First Amendments, to privacy, to health care, to LGBTQ health care, to reproductive health care. And so you are standing on the front line, and we thank you for that, because the front line you are standing on is a crucial one. It is the front line to protect democracy and to protect our constitutional rights, and I thank you for that. The bill that we're moving forward tightens up the loopholes that this federal government has found in Maryland's otherwise strong data privacy laws. We are going to tighten up those loopholes, and we are also going to put in new rules for data companies that have access to our data, that makes it very clear that they will not be sharing our data with the federal government for immigration or any other purpose, that protects our data, and that holds anyone who plans to cooperate with fascists and authoritarians accountable to us. And so, so that bill is being heard next week. I know I can count on you to be there. I knew we could count on you as we fought year after year to ban 287G. It's a huge win that we got that far. As has been said, that's just the beginning. Next week we do data privacy, we do Trust Act, and we keep going until everyone feels safe and included and loved and cared for in all of our communities. Let's keep going.
Thank you so much, Delegate Sharkudian. Y muchísimas gracias siempre por colaborar con nosotros, ¿no? Para proteger los derechos constitucionales de nuestros miembros y para hacer lo que ICE no puede acceder a nuestros datos privados aquí en el estado de Maryland. Muchas gracias. Now, before we continue with our next speaker, I do want to recognize some of the legislators that are standing with us today in the room and appreciate them for their support. Delegate Kaufman, Delegate Moreno, I know I just saw him. Oh, you're right here. Hi, Delegate. And Delegate Simmons, thank you for being here with us today. Ahora es un placer presentar a Dana Vicker-Shelley, la directora del ACLU de Maryland. ACLU of Maryland is one of our closest partners as we continue to fight to protect our immigrants community here in the state. So it is a pleasure to call on Dana Vicker-Shelley, Executive Director of ACLU Maryland. Please come on up.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I wasn't even born with an inside voice, so my apologies to Alma for not following all of her directions. Thank you so much to We Are CASA and our partners from all across the state and communities, because we know that all Marylanders must be empowered to fully participate in society, to have their constitutional rights protected. That means building communities rooted in dignity, fairness, and safety. When family members feel secure, coming forward to call for help, reporting harm, seeking medical care, and participating fully in community life. It grows when our public institutions reflect our shared values. The Community Trust Act will move Maryland forward. The Community Trust Act affirms a simple yet powerful principle. Maryland's local systems exist to serve all Maryland communities.
Right.
And for the people in the back and outside this room, all, y'all means all of us. A judicial warrant should guide any decision to detain or transfer a person. Our correctional facilities and law enforcement agencies need to focus on public safety and community well-being. Federal immigration enforcement is a federal responsibility, not a local one. And local communities should not be terrorized by federal law enforcement.
Right.
Maryland has already taken an important step to ending 287G agreements, but I'm hopeful that Amma and Ninfa and Kat and George will agree with me that we're not done.
That's right.
We have more to do. The Community Trust Act completes that work. It closes loopholes and aligns our policies with our values and ensures that our state legislators and officials, that our state resources can strengthen families rather than tearing them apart and diminishing their humanity. When legislators ask what creates safer communities, we offer something very simple and clear. We need policies that uplift the humanity of every Marylander, policies that build trust between neighbors and local institutions, policies that protect rights and affirm due process that we are all entitled to, regardless of the color of our skin, regardless of where we were born, where we live now. We have the opportunity in Maryland now and next week and moving forward to lead with courage and clarity. To lead with courage and clarity. And the ACLU of Maryland is proud to consistently stand with We Are CASA with that clarity, always. By passing the Community Trust Act, we choose dignity, we choose trust. We choose a future where everyone will thrive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dana. Y sí, We Are Casa, estamos de acuerdo en que no hemos terminado con el trabajo. Acabamos de empezar. Y no dejaremos de luchar hasta que ICE salga del estado de Maryland. ¿Ok? Y se puede. And I really want to say another thank you. Dana, are you still with us? I know you're probably trying to head out, always with us, but really, I mean, Dana, thank you for your visionary leadership, and thank you for your partnership. I'm telling you, Dana really is one of the powerful leaders using every resource at the ACLU's disposal to help us. Thank you, Dana. Y ahora vamos a escuchar de algunos de nuestros miembros de casa, okay? I think many of you know, well, hopefully all of you know, that when we say casa, casa is our members, our membership. We are a member-led, not just member-based organization, a member-led organization. And it is our members who tell us where to go, what to fight for, and we listen. And we're going to listen to a couple of our members share their stories with us. DT, please come up first, and then we will hear from Raquel as well. DT.
When I say, what do we want? We say, Community Trust Act. When I say, when do we want it? We say, now. What do we want?
Community Trust Act.
What do we want?
Community Trust Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
When?
Now.
When? When?
Now.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is BT. I came to the United States several years ago with my pregnant wife and child. We came here to the beautiful state of Maryland, looking for a new start after fleeing my home country of Cameroon. In 2022, I was granted temporary protected status. This is a special status for people who have to flee their home country because of war, violence, or disaster, and it's no longer safe to return home. TPS allowed me to work. TPS allowed me to provide for my family. TPS gave my children a sense of security. Since then, 2 of my children have been born here in the United States. They are my world. Born and raised here in the United States. This is their home. This is our home. I work hard in an assisted living community every day. I care for the elderly. I help people bathe, eat, move. I help them to do the daily life activity.
Thank you.
Above all, live with dignity. I work hard. I pay my taxes. I contribute to my part in Maryland. Last year, the Trump administration canceled my TPS. They canceled TPS for all Cameroonians. And it is not just Cameroonian. My brothers and sisters from Haiti, from Sudan, and so many other countries.
Shame.
These families have lived here for years, worked hard like I did, built lives, businesses, and communities. When TPS is cancelled, it forces hundreds of thousands of black and brown people to be undocumented, push them into the shadow. I'm still fighting my asylum case, but the road is not easy. As I fight my case, I live in fear every day. I fear that contact with law enforcement could lead to ICE. I fear that the life we build could disappear overnight. That is why I am here today to fight. We have to pass the Community Trust Act. We have to make sure that people who Trump has decided to throw away and ignore don't get deported just because they are here to seek a better life. Police should be protecting families like mine, not helping ICE to hurt us. I don't think this bill will solve everything, but it will help. It will help me feel safer. It will help our family. We belong in Maryland.
DT, thank you so much for sharing your story and reminding us the importance of a bill like the Community Trust Act. And it is my pleasure now to introduce the chair of the Legislative Black Caucus and the lead sponsor of our bill, Delegate Scott Phillips.
As I was walking in, I heard somebody say, "What do we want?" And when do we want it? Now. What do we want? And when do we want it? Now. All right. I'm a lawyer. And so part of our job, not only as a legislator, but a lawyer, is to advocate on behalf of people and their issues. And this one, I am honored to advocate on behalf of all of the individuals who've been impacted by what I believe to be truly unjust. In America, we live by a set of rules. And unfortunately, what we see today, people aren't abiding by any of those rules. We have the Constitution. And in the Constitution, when it talks about due process, it doesn't say for some, it says for all. And for me, the Community Trust Act is really about due process. Because in America, we do not detain by discretion, we detain by due process. The Fourth Amendment protects persons, not politics, not party, not preference, but persons. So right now, administrative requests from ICE can prolong detention without a neutral party ever engaging. And who's a neutral party? Thank you. So I believe in balance. I believe in boundaries. I believe in bright lines between executive power and judicial review. And so what this is about, and I know sometimes we get a little concerned about the courts too, but in our society, we got judicial, we got legislative, and we got an executive branch of government. And in this particular case, for much of this, we want to put it in the hands of the judges. So if a federal government seeks custody, I believe they ought to seek a warrant. There you go. And I, like all of you, we want safe communities. So if someone has been charged with a crime, I want them prosecuted, but I want them prosecuted right here. I don't want somebody being shipped off without ever even going through a process. That is not American. So for me, this is not obstruction, this is order. Public safety and constitutional safeguards are not competing commitments, they're complementary cornerstones. Communities are safer when trust is strong.
That's right.
Trust is strong when power is principled. And power is principled when it is checked. In law, and I just want to send a message. They'd be upset with me if they want to. But this bill basically says if I'm in law enforcement and I don't follow these rules and I don't follow these principles, then you will be culpable.
Thank you.
Measured, moderate, mindful of Maryland's values. Because in this state and in this nation, Liberty is not suspended by suspicion. It is secured by the Constitution. And that is who we are. So once again, what do we want? Community Trust Act. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? The Community Trust Act. And when do we want it? Now. I thank you all. We're going to get this done.
Delegate, oh my goodness, thank you so much, and you are much taller than I am. All right, angle this down a little bit. Oh goodness, might need some help. All right. No, but listen, you are right. We are going to get it done. Vamos a hacer esto. Sinceramente, vamos a hacerlo. Para nuestra comunidad y por nuestra comunidad y también por el liderazgo del delegado Scott Phillips. Gracias por ser nuestro delegado campeón. Gracias. Thank you for being our champion. Thank you. And we will absolutely get it done. Now I want to take us back to hearing from another CASA member, Raquel, who is here with us. Raquel, ¿estás aquí con nosotros? ¿No? Puedes venir para hablar un poco, compartir un poco de tu historia. And Sam, please, thank you.
Muchas gracias a todas y todos. Mi nombre es Raquel, soy orgullosamente hondureña, madre y defensora de los derechos humanos en Honduras. Soy miembro de CASA.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. My name is Raquel. I am a proud Honduran. I'm a mother, and I'm a proud human rights defender and a member of We Are CASA.
¡Arriba, Honduras!
En mi país luché por defender el territorio y los derechos de mi pueblo. Mi activismo por alzar mi voz fui amenazada y mi vida corría peligro.
When I was back in Honduras, I fought hard to defend my people's land and their rights. I stood up and spoke out. And because of my activism, I was threatened and my life was in danger.
Esta es una foto de Berta Cáceres, asesinada hace 10 años por la defensa del río Gualcarque.
This is a picture of Berta Cáceres, who was assassinated exactly 10 years ago for defending the river Gualcarque in Honduras.
Vine a Estados Unidos, especialmente a Maryland, en busca de paz y seguridad para mi familia. Pensé que aquí nuestros derechos estarían protegidos y pienso que en cualquier parte del mundo tenemos derecho a vivir con dignidad, que es inherente al ser humano.
I came to the United States, and especially to Maryland, seeking peace and security and safety for my family. I thought that here our rights would be protected. And I think that in general, in any part of the world, we all deserve to have human rights.
Pero hoy como migrante y activista vuelvo a vivir con miedo.
But today, as a migrant and as an activist, I am once again living in fear.
Temo que mi hijo pueda ser detenido, separado de nuestra familia y sujeto a condiciones horribles. Temo que la visita de mi hija al médico pueda poner en riesgo su vida y su información confidencial.
I am afraid that my teenage son could be detained, torn away from our family, and treated inhumanely. I am afraid that my daughter's simple visit to the doctor could end up dangerously exposing my family's information.
Tengo miedo, pero también tengo esperanza. Esta semana vi al gobernador Whitmore firmar el proyecto de ley que prohíbe la ley 287G.
I'm afraid, yes, but I'm also filled with hope. This week, I watched Governor Wes Moore sign the bill banning 287G.
En este momento sentí que el estado de Maryland nos protege, nos ve y nos está escuchando como migrantes. Sentí que en Maryland se puede vivir con dignidad.
In that moment, I felt that the state of Maryland sees us. The state of Maryland is listening to us. And I felt that in Maryland, sí se puede, yes we can. We can live with dignity here in Maryland.
Yes.
¡Arriba Maryland! ¡Viva Maryland!
Tengo fe que más voces como nuestros legisladores van a tener el valor de aprobar más leyes que protegen la confianza de la comunidad y la privacidad de datos.
I have faith that our brave legislators are going to pass more laws that protect our communities, that they're going to pass the Community Trust Act and the Data Privacy Act.
Queremos vivir y trabajar para que nuestros hijos y nuestras hijas, nuestras hermanas, nuestra familia viva con dignidad y tenga un aporte en este país.
We want to live and we want to work so that our family, our brothers, our sisters, our children can have a better life here and can keep contributing to this great state that we love.
Voy a agregar esto. La gente piensa que no tenemos que meternos en política. Para mí la política es la ciencia del amor. Y hablar desde el amor nos hace hermanas y hermanos universales en cualquier parte del mundo.
I want to add this. They tell us that we shouldn't get involved in politics, but for me, politics is the science of love. And with love, we're going to move forward.
Gracias por la oportunidad. Y sí se puede.
Sí se puede.
Muchísimas gracias, Raquel. Gracias por tu activismo. Gracias por ahora ser parte de nuestra familia de casa. Y gracias por ahora estar parte de esta lucha en nuestro estado de Maryland. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much, Raquel. And I want to, we have in our midst, y'all, the lead sponsor of these critical bills, and honestly, a longtime champion of immigrant justice. It is a pleasure to call up Senator Clarence Lamb. Senator, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's great to be with so many friends and supporters here of our immigrant community. Thank you all for being here this morning. I could not be more proud to stand with our immigrant community. You have done so much to really turn the tide and to stand up for all of our communities here in the state of Maryland. So I am so humbled to be here with all of you, to be able to continue to be that champion here in the General Assembly on so many issues that are important to our immigrant community, especially as one of the few immigrants, as a second-generation Asian American. It is important to stand up for our communities, to make sure that the state of Maryland supports all of our values and that we push back against a crazy federal administration that continues to harm our immigrant community. We stand here with you, and I stand with you this morning because I believe how much you contribute to our state. You make Maryland so valuable, and so we cherish so much of everything that you do. So that's why I've been a champion of so many immigration bills to support all of you and our immigrant community throughout the state of Maryland. I also represent parts of Howard and Anne Arundel counties, and just 2 weeks ago, Howard County moved very quickly to prohibit an ICE detention facility that we learned was going to be built right next to my district in Elkridge. And just like that, we were able to stop that from happening because of the support of so many of the folks that live here. And earlier this week, we had a hearing on a bill that I sponsored to address ICE-related flights out of BWI Airport. That we know that just a couple months ago, we had success in blocking Avello Airlines for continuing their contract with ICE, so they are no longer doing ICE flights out of Baltimore. But this bill is still really needed because they are still flying other planes out of Baltimore and deporting folks. I just spoke to someone earlier this week who was a physician who had someone working in their clinic, someone who comes from the immigrant community, who was picked up by ICE just on Saturday on Route 1 when they were going about their business. And just like that, as the physician reached out for me for help, and I reached out to Senator Van Hollen at the federal level, by Monday afternoon, they were already on a plane out of BWI Airport and being deported to Honduras. In just 48 hours, they were gone out of BWI Airport without any due process, without a chance to appear before a judge. And that's why we need that bill. I'm also working on a piece of legislation called the Community Trust Act that all of you have heard. That while we know we've had a great win earlier this week with the banning of 287G, and was really pleased to be able to join Governor Moore at that signing just on Tuesday morning, we still have more work to do because sheriffs and other law enforcement agencies across the state of Maryland are already trying to figure out how to get around that ban by capturing people inside jails and other prison facilities to deport them. And that is also unconscionable because these folks will not be able to appear before a judge and have their due process either. We need to pass the Community Trust Act, and with all of your support, we will.
Yes.
But that's not the end, because I still have additional pieces of legislation to help all of you in our immigrant community. We have a bill to help ensure that when we see people going to our hospitals, they're going in for care. We saw that in Minneapolis, but we also saw ICE agents come into emergency departments, come into doctors' offices, come into the bedside as doctors were talking to their patients who were immigrants and pulling them out of hospitals. That too is unconscionable, and we are hoping through the legislation I'm passing that we will block that from happening and making sure that we keep our hospitals safe places for our immigrants to go to need help. And lastly, I have a bill that we're working on to also ensure that so much of the information, because we know our immigrant community works really, really hard. Oftentimes they're paying taxes. They may qualify for health insurance through Medicaid. They may need unemployment support. All that information goes into our state databases. But ICE has been going into states and their databases to grab that information to use it for detention and deportation purposes. We don't want that to happen in the state of Maryland. We're going to pass a data privacy bill that makes all of your information protected here in our state databases so they don't end up in the hands of ICE. So as you can tell, we have a lot of work to do, and those are just 4 bills out of the 25 that I'm sponsoring to help support our immigrant community, because I believe in all of you. I am so humbled to see the support that we have here this morning from so many members of our community all across the state. Our work is not done, but with your support, with your hard work, with you and your communities coming down to Annapolis to champion this bill, we will make sure that the state of Maryland continues to be a welcoming place for our immigrant community, because together we can. Si se puede! Si se puede! Si se puede! Thank you so much! Keep working, keep pushing, we'll work on this together.
Senator Lamb. Now, for those of you who don't know, Senator Lamb was also our champion in securing Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act for undocumented Marylanders. Thank you for your leadership. Gracias por, and I remember I told you that ending 27G was just the beginning. There's more work to be done. You heard all that work, right? Gracias por tu colaboración y compromiso a lo largo de todos estos años. Y sí, nosotros vamos a ganar todos estos proyectos de leyes. Gracias, Senator Lamb. It is also my pleasure to call up here to speak to us Jaime Contreras, Executive Vice President of our partner 32BJ SEIU. Jaime, how are you doing today?
Good morning, buenos dias. Look, I just want to start by saying thank you to all of you. Gracias a todos por estar acá. But really, to our champions for pushing these legislations that are going to make life a little bit better for our communities. But really, Casa, you're amazing. And that's why we're proud to call you our strategic partner in this region. So, gracias a Casa, gracias a todos ustedes, gracias a todos los líderes electos que están empujando esta propuesta de ley. I'm Jaime Contreras. I'm the proud Executive Vice President for SEIU 32BJ. Our union represents 185,000 members in 12 states, and we come from 64 different countries and speak 28 different languages. We are America. Nuestro sindicato 32BJ tiene 185,000 miembros. Hablamos 64, venimos de 64 países, hablamos 28 idiomas, somos América. Muchos de los miembros de casa son miembros también de la 32BJ. So, one of the great things about speaking towards the end is that a lot of great things have been said, right? I don't want to repeat any of those. Yes, let's pass the Trust Act. Let's protect our data. And how about we ban face masks for these thugs? My members, your members, our community, no one, regardless of the color of your skin, should be afraid to take their kids to school, to go shopping for groceries, to go to church, to go to work. Shame on this administration for terrorizing our community with licensed, sanctioned, federally sanctioned kidnappers in our communities. Shame. So I'll keep this really short because I think everything has been said. Our union stands proudly in support of all this legislation that's being pushed in Annapolis, but we're also working really hard in Richmond, in DC, and many of our states where 32BJ is to make sure that we get these laws passed in our states as well. So we have a little chant in our union. We have a little chant in our union that just adds a little flavor to what do we want, right? So when I say what do we want, what do you say? Community Trust Act, right? And when I say if we don't get it, what do we say? So what do we want?
Community Trust Act.
When do we want it?
Now.
And if we don't get it?
Shut it down.
Thank you, everybody.
It really is such an honor, right, to be able to be in this work with our union siblings. It is a great reminder, immigrant justice is worker justice.
That's right.
Immigrant rights is workers' rights.
That's right.
So thank you for
Thank you,
coming
guys.
today, and thank you for your partnership. And another one of our worker justice partners, Allison Yinda, from the lead organizer from the National Domestic Workers Alliance. Here with us today.
Good morning, everybody.
everybody. Buenos dias. My name is Allison Yunda, and I'm the Maryland's lead organizer with the National Domestic Workers Alliance, which represents cleaners, house cleaners, nannies, and home care workers. I'm proud to come from a lineage of immigrant domestic workers, and it's because of their sacrifices that I am able to be here today. ¿Dónde están las trabajadoras del hogar? When policies push workers into fear, families pay the price. Parents scramble for childcare. Older adults lose trusted support. People with disabilities face gaps in the assistance that helps them live independently. And workers who already work in isolation behind closed doors become even more vulnerable to exploitation because fear makes it harder to report wage theft, harassment, or unsafe conditions, which we know are rampant in domestic work. Ending 287G agreements in Maryland is a step in the right direction, but there is still more to do to ensure Maryland's immigrant community has the protections we all deserve. We're here to remind our state that the country that our leaders have a choice to reject chaos and cruelty. We're here to center what keeps communities strong: fairness, safety, and dignity, and the care that makes daily life possible for millions of Marylanders. Domestic workers are the people that take care of our loved ones and our home. They do the essential job so that many of us can go to work and have a peace of mind to be able to do the things that we need to do in daily life. We're calling on Maryland leaders at every level to keep going and lead by example by passing the Community Trust Act. Now is the time to build towards a care infrastructure families need, protecting workers' rights and ensuring that every Marylander can live without fear. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Allison. Shout out to the domestic workers. Shout out to day laborers. Shout out to those who formed CASA's core membership from the very beginning. And shout out to all of us. You're right, Jaime. We are America. That's right. This is America. Looking around this room at all the beautiful colors and faces, this is America, and we will not stop fighting until that is recognized and we have full dignity and respect and justice for our immigrant community, our Black community, our brown community. Because let's be clear, this is not a Latino issue. That's right. We know that. That's right. Right? This is about all of us. My Caribbean people, my African people, my Asian community. This is about all of us, and we will not stop fighting until there's full justice for every single one of us. Recuerden, por favor, que todavía tenemos trabajo por hacer. La próxima semana vamos a estar aquí mismo. We will be here next week testifying on all of these bills that we mentioned. It's gonna be a tough, intense week, but we will get through it. We have gotten through so much more. We have gotten through worse, and we continue to win. We will continue fighting next week. We will see you here next week, right? Yes. Y'all gonna be here next week? Yes. Amazing. We will see it all to the finish line, and even at the finish line, we will continue showing up because we will always fight for more for our community. So with that, I'm gonna close us out. I'm gonna say thank you, and I'm gonna say please join us in the lounge for food. There is food. Hay comida. Oh, y también tengo instrucciones que vamos a hacer una foto. Okay. Vamos a hacer la foto, y después de esto yo quiero hacer un poco